You guys might as well leave if you aren't even going to pretend to pay attention. I only came for the food anyway. Let's go, guys. Wow. Oh, just you wait. I'm definitely gonna wipe that smog out of your face. Hello fellow knights, Finn here, and welcome back to Doki Doki Blue Skies. And of course, it is time for the festival, the recital. It is time for the Lurcher Club to shine. And before I begin, I'll show you guys what I'm wearing right now for the special occasion for this video. So let me show you guys this real quick. What do you think? I haven't worn this since forever, so I just got this from a con since 2017. And yes, I did use this as a cosplay at one point, but yeah, I'm just thinking of something nice and snazzy for the festival, so I thought of this. So what do you guys think? And yes, I know it's not a matching uniform to the to what the girls or whatever the boys are wearing in the DDLC universe, but it cut me some slack, alright? I'm just trying something nice here, okay? So, I don't know. What do you guys think? So yeah, that's it for the outfit, and let me know in the comments down below if you want me to do something like this in more DDLC mods or for a special occasion or something like that. I'm not entirely sure, but you guys know what I'm talking about. So yeah, without further ado, do you guys know what time it is? And what time is it? It's Doki Doki time. And so, it begins. Monika and Sayori have greeted the newcomers and settled them in desks throughout the classroom. Some people are already helping themselves to cupcakes, and I notice Natsuki keeping an eye on them. Meanwhile, Yuri is nervously looking through a pamphlet. I can see her soundlessly mouthing the words to a poem. Now that I think about it, I should be getting some extra practice in as well. Before I can do so though, Monika heads back towards us with Sayori in tow. Showtime, everyone. Let's do this, guys. Let's get this over with. I can do this. We group up and stand together at the front of the classroom. Monika steps up to the podium and clears her throat, drawing the room's attention to her. Okay, everyone. Welcome to the Lurcher Club's poetry performance. My name is Monika, as some of you may know. Some girls sitting near the front of the classroom wave at her. And I'm the president of the club. Accompanying me is the vice president, Sayori. Hi guys. And the rest of our club members, Yuri, Natsuki, and last but certainly not least, Finn. We all wave back at the students with varying degrees of enthusiasm. I hope you all enjoy your poetry that will be able to help contribute to a memorable festival. Literature is amazing in its ability to connect us to the human condition, and we really hope that this event will help encourage others to start participating as well. Our club will gladly welcome any new members, from those who love words and writing as well, to anyone who is simply just curious and wants to learn more. After the scheduled performances, we'll be opening up the stage for anyone else who wants to perform, so don't be shy. And now, without further ado, I'll be starting with my poem, The Way They Fly. Sayori, Natsuki, Yuri, and I head off to settle down in the frontmost desks, saving the seat at the end for Monika. She stands there, alone yet still radiating confidence. After flashing a smile and a wink at us, she begins. Each word is crystal clear and exudes emotion? I don't know how to read that, but okay. Somehow her recitation is even better than it was a few days ago. She must have practiced hard to try to achieve perfection. The classroom is silent at first, drinking in her words. After a few moments, however, some whispering starts up in the back of the classroom. I guess that's inevitable, but it still doesn't make it less annoying. I exchange a look with Natsuki, who rolls her eyes at the disruptions. Sayori pats my hand and gives me an encouraging smile. She's comforting as always. As Monika's poem progresses, more and more people wander in. Normally this would be a good thing, but they're making a lot of noise. Thankfully, they simmer down once they realize Monika's speaking, but the damage has already been done. She reaches the end of her poem, the last few words resonating in the classroom. A round of applause fills the room and Monika beams at everyone, patiently waiting for them to finish. Thank you for listening, everyone. I hope you enjoyed my poem, that it gave you a flavor of what this club is like. For the newcomers, welcome. We're just in the midst of showing you all of our poems. For the benefit for those who have just joined, she quickly introduces everyone. Anyway, up next is Natsuki. Take it away! Natsuki stumbles slightly as she makes her way to the front of the class. I guess the nerves are really getting to her. It doesn't help that someone sniggers, causing her to turn to glare at them. Sayori seems to notice too, as she hastens to shoot Natsuki a reassuring smile. Natsuki stands at the front of the classroom with her poem in hand, slight traces of irritation still visible to her face. Anyway, my poem's called Jump. She takes a deep breath and begins her recital. Just as I was hoping, she is able to inject her trademark bouncy style into the performance, bringing the words to life. She doesn't quite radiate the confidence Monika did, but her unique style shines through, giving the poem a flow and rhythm. While it's simple, it's effective. My heart sinks as I start picking up on the newcomers having their own conversation in the back of the room. I'm hit with a surge of anger. How could they be so inconsiderate? Well, I guess that's what they are, really. I mean, that's how recitals and performances are at school, so that really kind of sucks. It's clear that they aren't paying any attention, and from the pause and change in Natsuki's tone, she's clearly picked up on it as well. Why can't they just save their stupid, selfish conversations for after our performances? Her poem comes to an end, but unlike Monika's, there's a slight awkward moment of silence. Once again, there's a round of applause, but it's clear that the audience engagement isn't quite as strong. Great performance, Natsuki. I really like the rhythm of that poem. Natsuki forces a smile and makes her way back to her seat. It's clear that she's upset. Oh no. Anyway, our Vice President Sayori is next to perform. Hi everyone, I hope you like my poem. She cheerily skips up to the front, poem in hand. She turns to face to us. She looks a little nervous, fidgeting slightly. Calm down, Sayori. You got this. Just focus and just don't let him get into your head. Sorry, I'm a little nervous. It's okay, Sayori. Just remember what we practiced. I've got full faith in you. Yeah, got this. This one's called My Meadow. She begins her poem. Her soft voice guides us through the recital, and there's a remarkable contrast between her cheerful inflection and the more bittersweet nature of the words. Out of the corner of my eye, I notice people casually flicking cupcake wrappers onto the floor, along with candy wrappers laying on the tables. Worse still, the talking is getting louder and more noticeable. Monika looks around the perpetrators, frowning at them. One of the students lets out a loud yawn, making absolutely no effort to hide it. Wow, rude much? Okay. Another student picks up one of the quotes and nudges their friend. They both frowned and laughed at the message, and I get the horrible feeling that it's more the mocking kind of laugh. At this point, I'm seeing red. If we weren't in school, I would have punched these inconsiderate, lumpuses by now. No one should be this rude to Sayori. She's probably the sweetest person I've ever met. Despite the now obvious disruptions, she's still trying her best and is making a real effort to continue. To her credit, her performance is still commendable. She manages to work the contrast of her enunciation against the words in her favor. It adds an interesting depth to the poem. I love to see more of this side to her. She brings her performance to a close, hands shaking slightly. Lovely poem, Sayori. You really brought that one to life. Also, another thing to notice while I was reading, the music suddenly just got distorted or ruined. Like, oh my god, I'm pretty sure I feel like what's the word I'm looking for? I got a bad feeling about this, for sure. Thank you. Something's off with her voice. It's like how she was on Friday. Monica stands up, turning to address everyone in the room. Just a polite reminder that it would be much appreciated if everyone could give our poets some respect while they're performing. Monica looks stern while Natsuki looks positively furious. Thank you. Now the stage is all yours, Yuri. Yuri is looking terrified at this point. Sayori gives her a reassuring squeeze and I lean over, whispering to her ear. You got this, Yuri. Just pretend like it's only me, Natsuki, Sayori, and Monica. I can't do this, Finn. Yes, you can. I believe in you. I've seen how passionate you can become when you talk about Portrait of Markov. I love that. I've loved seeing that side of you. Besides, like you said, this club could be the perfect place for any of these people. We just don't know it yet. She swallows nervously, nodding at my words. Okay, thank you. She rises to her feet, palm clasped firmly into her chest, and avoiding eye contact with everyone as she walks up. Her eyes flick up to the glance at the classroom when she gets on stage, although she quickly ducks her head down to look at her poem on the podium. This poem is titled After Image of a Crimson Eye. Her voice quivers as she starts, but unlike her recitation a few days ago, the meek and trembling version of Yuri remains well into the poem. She determinedly forges ahead, but I can tell she's not enjoying it in the slightest. The rest of the classroom, momentarily subdued by Monica's words, soon begins to grow louder again. After a few lines of her poem, there are even more unruly than before. The crinkling of wrapper fills the air, and at a few points, Yuri is almost drowned out by others' voices. I catch a few people getting up and leaving the classroom, and by the slight hinge in her voice, it seems that Yuri's seen them as well. Her eyes stay glued to her poem now, and it looks like she's trying her hardest to ignore everyone. One boy quietly wolf whistles at Yuri, causing her to jump and lower her head even more. What the living lump is that one boy doing? You know what? I think maybe, just maybe, I might get that one person at the end of this video later, so you better watch yourself. She's practically shaking like a leaf. This is absolutely disgusting behavior, and I open my mouth to say something. Suddenly, Natsuki stands up, a loud scraping noise from her pushing away from the desk drawing the attention of the students. Can you all just shut up? I'm really freaking sick of this. How can you guys be so rude? We are trying our best to show you something amazing here, and you're just gonna stomp all over our hard work like that? Unbelievable. I can't even understand how people can be this arrogant and, just this plain terrible. I didn't want to interrupt you, Yuri, but I can't stand it anymore. You idiots might as well leave if you aren't just... You guys might as well leave if you aren't even going to pretend to pay attention. There's a complete silence for a beat. I only came for the food anyway. Let's go, guys. Wow. Oh, just you wait. I'm definitely gonna wipe that smug out of your face there. Just you wait. Once this boy speaks up and begins to lead his friends away, one by one more students start to follow them out the door. I throw a panicked look over to Monica, who's holding a strange, stiff expression on her face. Looks like she's struggling to stay calm for everyone. Oh, Monica, just calm down. Just calm down. I really want to say something reassuring to save the situation, but it seems like the damage has been done. But I'm slowly getting angry. Just calm down, Finn. Just calm down, alright? Just calm down. I'm pretty sure they're not worth it. Really. After a few moments, there's barely anyone left. Yuri, meanwhile, quietly begins speaking again, but her voice is barely audible. There's a stifling silence accompanying her words. When she finishes, a weak smattering of applause sounds from the few who are left. She unsteadily steps down from the stage, a blank look on her face. She won't look at any of us either. I'm worried about her. Okay. Monika's voice cracks as she speaks up. She's still trying her best to see us through this. Am I reading that right? I'm terribly sorry. I don't think any of us would have predicted that it would turn out this way. Thank you, Yuri. You did wonderfully. I am sincerely sorry for all the disruptions and sheer arrogance you had to endure. Those kinds of people are really the worst. I agree. To those who are left, I want to thank you all for staying and apologize as well. This is definitely not a normal occurrence for the Lurcher Club, I assure you. Well, let's finish this off with Finn then. With a heavy heart, I slowly get up and walk onto the stage. Well, with a few people left, I'm pretty sure... Oh boy, I'm pretty sure this will definitely turn worse, and like I said, I have a bad feeling about this. As I get to the podium, I'm appalled by the sight of the classroom. Candy and cupcake wrappers are strewn across the floor, and quote cards lay tossed about, with many of the cards now featuring shoe prints over the words. The remnants of goodie bags are left ripped apart on desks. Even the kanji curtain looks tangled up and messy. The only students left are the ones who waved at Monika at the beginning. This is what Yuri had to see when reciting her poem. No wonder she didn't look up and face these people. Can I do this now? How were the others able to finish their poems? Well, at least those people stayed, so I appreciate that, I guess. I look at the clock. Only 10:20. Has it really only been 20 minutes? Taking a shaky breath, I begin to speak. Hi, everyone. I'd like to take a second to apologize as well, both to those checking out the club today and to those who are already in it. But despite everything that's happened, I can say that I'm glad I joined since I got to meet so many amazing people. I believe that you guys will love it as much as I did too. Anyhow, I hope that you all enjoy Acquainted with the Night. I start reading and am struck once again by the beauty of the poem. The loneliness and isolation conveyed so accurately, I can relate to a lot of these feelings. I won't be as good as the others at reciting, but I can only hope that I'll be able to do the poem justice. Thoughts of I'm so sorry. Thoughts of doing both the poet and the club proud strengthened my spirit, and I managed to fight through the depressing mood. The quiet of the classroom suits the lines of the poem well, and my recital seems to fly by rather quickly. Excellent performance, Finn. What a great way to round off the event. As I step down the stage, Monika stands up and addresses the room. Thank you all for coming and staying. I truly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. That's it for the scheduled recitations, but you guys are free to stay and hang out if you want. There's an awkward silence for a few moments, then the remaining students start to stand up. Oh, hey Monika, and hey Monika, and oh, you too, Finn. Wait, Shiori? Oh, another new character. I don't know, but is it just me, or does Shiori kind of look similar to Nico Yazawa from Love Life? That's what I think anyway, because of the, of course, the ponytail and red eyes and all. I didn't know you were in this club. The girl standing before us is actually my homeroom's class representative, Shiori. Given that she and Monika are class reps, they're probably friends. Oh, class reps? Nice to meet you there. Yeah, I only joined about a week ago, so... Ah, I see. Yup. Hey, the way you guys were treated was seriously awful. It's fine. Thanks for saying. Either way, sorry about everything, Monika. I'll check out the club sometime. She gives us a small, commisseratory smile, and I'm torn between wondering whether everyone's pitying us or sympathizing with us. They start to file out the classroom after a few more goodbyes. Monika keeps a strange smile plastered on her face. Meanwhile, Yuri has her head buried in her arms on the desk. Oh no. In contrast, Natsuki is staring straight ahead, gritting her teeth, and Sayori looks down at her desk, picking at the spot on the varnished wood. Wow. by... Look at this mess. What have they done? What have they done to the Lurcher Club? The nerve of some people, they say, or they said. Wow. Just wow. To say there's tension in the air would be a massive understatement. There's a silence in the room, made worse by the sense of awkwardness. No one knows what to say. No one expected the festival to end this way, and the impact is hitting us all. So, that could have gone better. My attempt at humor falls flat, and I immediately regret speaking. Natsuki gives me a dirty look, but Sayori smiles wanly. Meanwhile, it looks like Monika's face has finally fallen. I don't understand. Where did we go so wrong, guys? We spent so long preparing for this, and after all our efforts... For the first time, that outgoing confidence Monika always seemed to radiate has snuffed out. She clearly cared a lot about this event, and I feel awful for her. I know, I don't get it either. I thought you guys did all such a good job as well. The decorations, the recitals... I'm sorry, Monika. Don't worry about it, Finn. It's not like your fault anyway. She smiles weakly at me. Glancing around, I notice that Yuri and Natsuki seem particularly upset, with Yuri looking absolutely dejected and Natsuki steaming mad. Also, as I noticed when I read Monika's lines, I think my voice changed a little bit for her, so I guess that's character development, so hey! This is your fault, Monika. I told you this was a stupid idea. None of us were even that comfortable with doing it in the first place. Now look where it landed us. Excuse me? My fault? You all agreed to do this. Pardon me for thinking it would actually go well. What's wrong? What's so wrong with that? Oh, Natsuki, what do you have this time? We only agreed to do it because we felt like you were forcing us. I was really hoping this wouldn't happen. Given everyone's low moods, an argument is the last thing we need. I didn't force anyone, Natsuki. You know how much this club means to me. I was excited to show what we have to the rest of the school. Yeah, because that was such a good idea, wasn't it? I'm really starting to get sick of your constant sarcasm, you know. Why can't you just try being positive for once in your life? Gee, it's funny you should say that, because I'm really starting to get sick of your self-righteous know-it-all attitude. We told you this was a bad idea, but no! You just had to insist on this, even though no one was happy with it. It was for a reason. Look how much Finn enjoys it here. Is it really unreasonable to think that we have found someone else like him? Or is it just too positive for you to fathom? This is awful. Other students were bad enough, but now Monika and Natsuki are going each other's throats? Look at how badly everyone was humiliated, how inconsiderate all of those... She struggles for a moment, her anger inhibiting her ability to speak. Those a-holes were to all of us. They didn't give a dang about anything we had to say. What did that one lumpus say? He was only here for the food? All of that hard work, just for what? Nothing! She angrily kicks one of the desks. The loud noise jolts Yuri, who looks up with tears in her eyes. Natsuki. Please, Natsuki, can you please come to... Don't tell me you're taking her side, Yuri. He had to experience the worst of it. I don't get why you're not mad either. Natsuki, there's no point in being angry at Monika. She didn't want this to happen. She had no idea people would react this way. It's bad enough that the students were rude, and I really don't like fighting inside the club itself. Yeah, but if Monika just listened to us when we said we weren't comfortable with the whole idea, none of this would have happened. Wow, okay, calm down, Natsuki. This is a school requirement. It's the festival. Every club has to do this. Or, I don't know if all clubs should do this in a school or something. I don't know. It's been years I have joined the club since elementary school and all, but not high school. But still, I don't know how the activities work, but I'm pretty sure that all clubs are mandatory to have this kind of event. So, as much as I want to take Natsuki's side here, but I gotta say, Monika is kind of right here. She's definitely out of this, really. By I understand what she meant, but still, you get the point. But I don't know who's right here. Who knows? But well, let's just continue. Yeah. Hey, sorry for starting. Monika sighs. This is the kind of conflict she generally leaves for Sayori to deal with. But in this case, Sayori looks to Destrada to intervene. Look, you're not understanding that sometimes you just have to take risks. Sure, this didn't go so well, but there's always a chance it wouldn't have ended like this, and we could have had new members. She turns to me. I mean, you of all people can understand that the best, right, Finn? You made the choice to come here. Look how much you enjoyed it. Oh, don't you try to suck up to him, Monika. Face it, you never listen to us, your club members, or take our opinions into account. Tell me I'm not alone in thinking that, Finn. Oh great, now I have to choose a side. I really don't want to do this. I desperately look at Yuri and Sayori, but both look too upset to want to get involved. So I guess that's gonna be, just for safety measures, let me save that up. I mean, don't get me wrong, Natsuki, you were right, but the way you're saying it, that's not right either. Monika, yes, club president, and of course this is a requirement to the club to have an event and all, so, I'd say I'm gonna go for Monika. Sorry, Natsuki. Of course, in a situation like this, I had to be really serious. Something tells me this is going to make me very unpopular with Natsuki. I brace myself for what's going to come next. Natsuki, come on, you know better than I do that Monika loves this club. It's only natural that she'd want to share it with the rest of the school. Ugh, seriously? You're actually taking her side? I can't believe this. No, it's not that. I'm not taking her side. It's just what? That's exactly what you're trying to do, Finn. Don't try and backpedal. Natsuki, that's not what he's trying to say. He's just... Oh, of course you're jumping to his aid. I can feel the blood boiling inside me, but... Natsuki, I know you're my second favorite and all, but please, I really cannot stand your freaking bullcrap right now. Please, can you just shut the heck up, please, for once? Shut up, Monika. Monika looks furious, and for a moment, I think Natsuki has finally gone too far. I agree. I really agree. You really made this too far, Natsuki. She closes her eyes and takes a deep breath, evidently trying to contain her anger. Jeez, Natsuki, don't you think that was a little out of order? You didn't have to shout at her. What would you know? You haven't even been here for 5 days. Why is everyone making me out to be the bad guy here? Remember when Monika said she'd make sure people weren't going to be rude during their performances? Well, she was making sure, but it was those people. They brought it upon themselves, not us, so it's their fault, so it's not our fault either. Wow, congratulations! She sure did a fantastic job with that. I mean, it's not like anyone wolf whistled at Yuri or anything, was it? Some enforcer you were. Her bitter, sarcastic tirade continues on, each point worsening the atmosphere. I'm the only one who can see this for what it is. It's just Monika trying to use the club to boost her popularity. Calm down, Finn. Just continue. And it sickens me. You think we're all just What, some sort of pawns for you? Explains why you didn't even consider how reluctant we're all were to do this, or why you let everyone just walk all over us. Natsuki, you're just being ridiculous right now. Why would I want to hurt all of us? It's not exactly been easy on me either. Natsuki lets out a snort of derision. What? What would you of all people know about life being hard? Monica blinks, looking like she's been slapped. It's easy for you, Monica, with your role as the queen of this school, everyone liking you, all that crap. Oh. Okay, I'm sorry. Natsuki fans, and of course Natsuki herself. I guess I was wrong about myself about, saying, or shutting you up, so, well then, now that you think about it, the popular kids in school and all that, now that's something I can relate as well, because, well, I'm more much of a commoner than, like, everyone else. Natsuki, Yuri, and... Yuri, I guess? I mean, yeah, true, but Monica... Yep, guess MC was right about her being out of his league. You have such a perfect life and all, never having to defend your interests, never having anyone to ridicule you for the things you like. I share classes with those a-holes, but you can bet they're gonna have a lot of fun telling everyone else about how much of a loser we all are. And guess what? It's all because of you. I can practically hear the venom dripping from her words at this point. It's absolutely horrible. Okay, about shutting Natsuki up, I'm pretty sure this has gone way too far now. Face it, Sayori would be a better president than you could ever be. And with that, a sickening silence falls onto the room once more. But this time, it's a million times worse. A fire in Natsuki's eyes is blazing, and quiet sobs can be heard from Yuri. Sayori is miserably hugging herself, looking completely lost for words. Monica is wearing a stony expression on her face, looking both enraged and heartbroken. The whole club waits for a reply to the bombshell Natsuki just dropped on her. But without a word, Monica turns on her heel and walks out of the door, the impact of Natsuki's words hanging in the air behind her. No one knows what to say. For a few moments, the heavy silence remains. We all exchange looks. Yuri is meekly wiping her eyes on her sleeve, and Sayori is standing around awkwardly. Natsuki, on the other hand, is refusing to meet anyone's gaze. She looks like she's regretting her words a little bit.
Guys? Please, can we make sure that never happened? Can we make sure that never happens again? It was awful.
That was horrible to experience, to say the least. Without Monica to restore order and keep things going, the club suddenly feels very aimless and disorganized.
Natsuki, I know you're angry, but can you please find Monica and apologize? But please, I know you're feeling a bit guilty over what you said. After all, you were a bit mean.
Natsuki grumbled something under her breath. It's okay. I'll go find Monica. No offense, Natsuki, but I don't think she particularly wants to see you right now. I wince as the words leave my mouth. There's probably more diplomatic way of saying it. Natsuki glares at me. Fine. As I turn to leave, I suddenly motion to Yuri and Sayori to try and talk to Natsuki. Sayori nods and Yuri nervously swallows. Now, where would Monica go? She would probably went somewhere quiet where she could be by herself, right? Which rules out the classrooms, the courtyard, and the cafeteria. The only two places coming to mind are the girls' toilets or the rooftop. Well, I'm hoping it isn't the girls' toilets. I mean, of course, I'm a boy and all, so obviously I really do not want to breach someone else's privacy. I make my way over to the staircase that leads to the top, thinking about how this conversation is going to go. Will she even want to talk to me? She didn't even say anything as she left. Was she that upset? Although, given what Natsuki said, I really wouldn't blame Monica. Guess there's only one way to find out. There's a door at the rooftop of the stairs which opens out to the rooftop. Bracing myself, I put my hand on the cold steel door handle and push the door open. Man, the view up here is really something. I shiver as the wind cuts through my blazer. It's a cold and desolate place, a fitting setting for what just happened. I look around and there she is, leaning slightly over to the barriers of the edge of the rooftop, face turned away from me. Not a peep sounds from her, not even the wind slams the door behind me closed. Monica? No answer. I slowly approach her, making as little noise as possible in some illogical attempt to not scare her away. You, looked pretty upset, so I thought I'd come find you. I trail off, mentally berating myself at how weak that must have sounded. She stays completely still as I sidle up to her side, leaning on the railing so that I can see her face. I don't know what I expected. Her expression is oddly calm. Monica.
Beautiful view, isn't it?
Yeah, you could say that. Is there a reason you came up here?
It's a part of it. On days like this, the wind and the internally stretching blue sky makes me feel I can go anywhere. It feels freeing. There's something comforting in the possibility of getting swallowed up by that blue. Being able to simultaneously take control and lose control.
Monica, well, I know that you're obviously not okay. But I'm not asking if you're okay to know that you're okay. I'm going to ask if you're okay so that you can choose to talk to me about whatever you want to give you an opportunity to open up. So, are you okay? A thin smile appears on her face. Progress? Yeah, boy.
That's sweet of you, Finn. To be honest, I didn't expect you to have any tact at all.
Me either.
Did you expect that I'd be crying up here? Contemplating Sudoku or something? Don't worry, I wouldn't do it just because of the festival.
Really now? Committing Sudoku in the... No. Well, I wouldn't blame you if you wanted to cry it out.
You know, I actually thought I would cry at first, but maybe I'm all cried out. I guess I've come to terms with all the things that Natsuki said yesterday.
She says such weighty words so casually. What Natsuki said wasn't true, Monica. I think you're a fantastic president. I hasten to try to give less empty words after she arches an eyebrow at me. And I'm not just saying that to cheer you up either. Remember what I said to you before the festival, during your little pep talk? She faintly nods. Well, I'm going to reiterate it anyway because it's important you're aware of how much I mean it. Thank you for everything. You took me in when I really needed it. Remember how I said earlier that I've been feeling lonely? She nods again. Well, that's how things have been for me recently. I haven't seen much of my parents lately, and most of my days I spend alone. All that changed when I joined your club. You were also friendly and welcoming. Not once did you ever turn me away because I wasn't a poet. I mean, between you and me, I know my poems aren't the greatest.
You have a lot of potential, Finn. I really did like your poems.
Well, I'm glad you did so. But anyway, that's beside the point. You accepted me for who I was and was always too willing to help me. And more importantly, you've created something that 3 other girls hold dear to their hearts. Definitely the sign of a good president, if you ask me. Monica looks down for a moment, as if composing herself, and then meets my eyes with a smile.
Thank you, Finn. It really means a lot. Like I said earlier, hearing all this from a newcomer really does make me believe I've hit the goals I set for myself. All I wanted was to create a little haven that people call home, no matter their writing ability.
Well, take it from someone who joined only a few days ago, then you definitely succeeded. Also, had you not made this club, I would have never gotten to meet Yuri and Natsuki, or been able to hang out with Sayori again. Nor would I have gotten to get to know you better either, And that would have been a real shame, eh? I playfully nudge her, receiving a nudge back. This past week has probably been the happiest I've ever been in a long, long time. And that is all thanks to you. We share a smile, one that I'm now sure is completely genuine on Monika's part.
I don't really know what to say.
It's okay, seriously. I just wanted you to know how I felt. Anyway, Natsuki was a bit out of order with her words, but honestly I don't think she meant it. I guess tensions were just running really high, and you know better than I do how fiery she can be.
Yeah, I know she was just really upset, but hearing those words, it really hit deep, you know? I tried telling myself not to take her words to heart because I knew she was just upset. But it was the line about Sayori being a better president. I don't know why it got under my skin so much.
It was just spite, Monika. People say awful things that they don't mean when they're upset. I mean, yeah, it's just out of spite, so, okay, I'm gonna say it. I'm completely wrong about Natsuki, so I'm sorry, alright? I mean, she's just out of order and I understand her attitude and all, so there you go. We're all good now. Sayori and Yuri are talking to her now, and I get the feeling she wants to apologize, but she just doesn't know how to.
Well, that's definitely something Natsuki needs to work on, by the way. By the way, thank you for making the effort to find me. It really means a lot.
I'm suddenly struck by the situation I'm in. Here I am, alone with the most attractive popular girls of the year, having a heart-to-heart. Probably a situation most of other guys in the school would kill to be in. I mean, we're friends, so popularity, status aside, it's an important heart-to-heart since we are friends after all. My face heats up a little as I process the heartfelt, rather vulnerable scene we're both in. You're welcome, Monika. Nothing to thank me for. I sheepishly scratch the back of my neck. We should go find the others, though. Don't want them to worry or anything. We stand up and make our way back to the door.
I hope so. It wasn't exactly nice to be told you have a perfect life and that you have never experienced any difficulties.
As we make our way back to the club, I just hope Sayori and Yuri were able to talk some sense into Natsuki. The last thing we need is another argument. She wordlessly make our way back to the classroom. We finally arrive. I squeeze her shoulder as she takes a deep breath and walks in.
Ah, they're back!
Yuri and Sayori hurry over to us, looking weirdly at Monika. Meanwhile, Natsuki remains standing off to the side by herself, arms folded. Well, I really want to say that this will be it for this episode, fellow knights. As much as things are a-okay and all, I'm still angry at that one boy, let me tell you. But anywho, before I end this episode, I'm going to leave the mod link in the description, and if you want to play it yourself, go ahead. Because right now, I am going to get that boy. Right now, I'm really angry. Okay. See this sword? Okay. You know what? Stay awesome, fellow knights. I'm gonna go right now, so see you guys next time.